Let's just take the flower as a prominent example of talking about Venus energy. What does the flower do? It opens itself up, it buds itself, it spreads itself. It attracts in whatever it needs to. The wind, the sun, the water, the bees, the nectar, the beauty of life. Flowers represent presence, they represent grounding ourselves more fully into the present. They represent planting ourselves here on earth. They represent just sitting back and allowing life to grace us with its beauty and wonder. And so that is a really, really huge part of what a moon and Venus aspect is all about when it's in a positive aspect. Moon sextile or trine Venus. In this case, the moon is trining Venus. So when the moon is trining Venus, we can really, really open up to things. Instead of chasing them down, instead of hogging into the matter of our lives, putting one foot in front of the other and pushing it out of the way, we are just sitting back and allowing the diversity to come to us in greater, more fructile ways. Now, let's talk about that aspect when we get there. But the very first thing that I want to talk about is the astrology of November 23rd. So it's not quite Thanksgiving Day yet. We still have some time. It's on the Thursday, so we're building up to Thanksgiving if you celebrate it in America. Um, and it is going to be a very, very wonderful holiday for us all, I'm sure. Now, the moon is going to oppose Saturn, first of all. Now, this is a Debbie Downer aspect. This represents there is difficulty in our relationship. Saturn brings about challenges, it brings about difficulty, it brings about hard to muster actions. And so this represents our relationships are strained. There's struggles in our relationships, there's buggles in our relationship. So we need to honor our need for alone time and reflection. This is the time to go into reflection, to go into contemplation, but also attend to our relationships, also be present for our relationships, for our interactions, for our sub actions, for our meet and greets. We really, really need to be in the handy for both these things, and we need to balance these two things out in really prominent ways. You may also feel a really, really strong feeling of emotional weight on this particular day because Saturn brings about heaviness, it brings about weight. The emotions are very serious, they're very sober, they're very somberini. And so it can bring about this wall that blocks us from feeling, wall that blocks us from, um, really releasing whatever emotions that we're experiencing. So there is this weight to our feelings. Our feelings are not light like leaves, but they're hard like stone. So that's sort of the way to think about this. It's really critical that you know your worth and you know your value. And if there's anybody in your life that does not see and appreciate your value, then they're not your people. You don't need to spend any more energy and time and breath onto them. You can move on to other people who do respect you, who do appreciate you. Um, Seeing your gifts and talents and abilities and knowing what you can do and having confidence in yourself. But it's more important that you have the confidence in yourself, that you recognize your own value. You may be questioning your stability and emotional resilience. That may be really, really huge now, is that you're needing to change things, you're needing to muck a break things. And so it's important to develop the stable structures in your life, but also learn to be emotionally resilient as well when it comes to this kind of thing. Another thing with this is that journaling can help release your more heavy emotions now. Practice of journaling, you're writing down your feelings, you're expressing your feelings out, and you are really, really writing them down in the handy for you to, um, really understand in really, really huge ways. So that is something very, very huge with this particular aspect with what it is. Waddle waddle ding dong is all I can say. So, when you journal, when you write things down, it can really help you release very heavy emotions now. Whatever emotions come up, this can really help with that. You may be feeling sad, lonely, or bored at this time, so these emotions may be very in the handy, very jubilant, very jobulant. You know, you may come head to head with these emotions. And however they show up for you, you may be feeling depressed at this time. But the stages of your life are sort of dropped down to reality, like a realistic punching bag of reality that you're sort of chiseled down into. You may be feeling burdened by responsibilities of either people that are much older than you or much younger than you, but it's important to do your due diligence and show up for these responsibilities and take care of those people. So, this aspect is an invitation for you to sit and move through your emotions instead of letting them consume you. The only way out is through. And if you can sit with your feelings and feel them and just be present with them and observe them and do all the things, then you're going to go much farther with this as if you were going to press them, then you wouldn't move as far. Under Saturn's influence, things can feel far more daunting and challenging, far more like an upheaval rooting challenge. Um, there may be feelings of loss and disappointment that may come about at this time, very, very fortunately. um, Feelings of loss, losing things, being very disappointed. You may experience separation in your relationships as a part of this. You may be cut off from somebody else in physical form or emotional form. It could also be in psychological form as well. You're not really intellectually connecting with them nor emotionally connecting with them. People may find you more cold and more distant now. This may be a really, really huge part of this. People may find you, more detached, less warm, less social, less open, and on an emotional level. Um, and you may be prone to pessimism, seeing the worst in situations. So as much as you can, try to see the good and the bad. Try to see the light and the dark, both in situations. And with viewing both of those two perspectives, you can make sound decisions as to this is the action that I'm going to take because of what I'm seeing. So the next aspect is we have the moon coming into a beautiful trine with the love planet Venus. This is what I introduced this video talking about. So think of a flower. Venus is like an attracting energy. It's like a flower. It brings people in. It brings things in. It brings functions in. It's really all about sitting back and allowing the universe to sort of come to you um, in all the profound ways that it does this. Oh, Buddha, 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 Buddha. Okay, so what was I saying? So, Venus is an attracting energy. Like B is to a flower. It sits back and allow the universe to give it things. Give it things. Venus sits back and allows whatever is drawn toward it come to it. This is the time to surround yourself with beauty around you that you can and know that you can invite into your life. This is about putting yourself in beautiful surroundings, glumming up your surroundings beautiful, putting lanterns on your wall, or lanterns in your house, or lighting incense candles, or putting paintings up of Renaissance artwork. Whatever you can do to add more beauty to your surroundings. Maybe go outside in nature, notice the beauty outside in nature. We're in fall, noticing the beautiful trees of red and gold, orange, yellow trees, and notice the beauty that can come with the fall time period if you live in the northern hemisphere. So, you may be feeling unmotivated to do work now because Venus is such an energy that thrives on pleasure, that thrives on really thriving on um, just all things that bring you joy and satisfaction. So you're not motivated to work and put the hard work in now. So this is the time to rest and recharge. This is not the time to work, 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 and do, but rest and recharge and give yourself that time period to be indulgent, to sit in that bath with the beautiful flowers along the side of it, around the bath, to really take care of yourself and do the things that bring you satisfaction. If you're busy and you say, oh, well, I don't have time for that, well, you can make the time for it and you can explain to the people, I allowed myself this time to engage in this pleasure so that I can feel better about my life. So allow yourself time to engage in what you find pleasurable and beautiful. This is the time to be in company with those that you love, to be together with those that you care about, those that you cherish in your life, those that you relish being with. And so this is about also seeking out creative and artistic outlets, doing things that are creative or artistic for you. Painting, drawing, sculpting, book creating, whatever allows you to be creative and artistic. This is good to give gifts to others as well, share things with others, just connect and have relationships with other people. This is a great aspect for that. All the green lights of the universe are turning green for you to go in this direction. So, this is the time to attract abundance to you now. To really sit back and attract pleasure, attract gratitude, attract satisfaction, attract um, all of these wonderful things to you. So this is a time to attract others, noticing your charming, caring, and nurturing energy. So attracting others through your charming, caring, and nurturing energy. This is what this is about, really sitting back and just attracting people to you. This is what this is about in general. So the card that I pulled for this particular day from the Ask Your Guides Oracle by Signet Shakat, a brand new Oracle deck that came out last February, is the card Work. And this is a message from the Helper Guides. So this is what I intuitively got out of this card. This is about putting the work in to make your dreams a smashing success. To really, um, know that something can happen based off of the snap of your fingers. You actually have to do the work to make your dreams, to manifest them in your reality. So this is about opening up your heart, Also opening up your heart to do the work that you need to do. Know that a gentle touch to a flower goes a long way. This is all about working in a disciplined and steadfast way to reach your goals. Really putting one foot in front of the other, boop, 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 boop. Really put the blinders on and a single focus. I'm not veering off course. I'm not doing all this. I'm staying focused in the one laner. I am on this task. I am committed to this. I am doing this in a very determined, persistent kind of way. Also, you've already done work. This is suggesting that you've already put in a lot of work already, so acknowledge all the work that you've done up until now. Acknowledge that, hold space for that in your life. So you may be going through success in your business or career. These things, endeavors might be very punctuated now. So So you're going through success in your business or career at this time. There may be great successes with that. This is about planting the seeds. It takes time for the fruit to grow. It takes time for the peaches or the butternut squash to grow. Um, and you may not see the results immediately. Know that things take time for things to manifest. When you put the hard work in, it takes time for your dreams to become a reality. It doesn't happen overnight. So you may not get results immediately, but if you hang in there and continue to persist and continue to build up that building to the top, you'll eventually complete the building. So it does take time for things to get accomplished. And so recognizing this is going to serve you greatly now. So moving on to November 24th, the very first aspect going on today is that the moon is square Jupiter. Now, whenever we have the moon square Jupiter, this represents, well, it can represent your overindulging in certain pleasures of life. So moderation is key with this, not to overindulge in food or sex or, whatever it is. But this represents you're feeling more giving, you're feeling more empathetic, you're feeling more compassionate, you're feeling more generous now. And this generosity may be the superpower standpoint of this transit. Hmm. So, as much as it is great to give and be generous with your energy, I have so much that I'm giving you all this. Make sure that you're not giving people your own resources, what you need, and you're not depleting yourself of energy, of time, of gazigmoids, of all these kind of things where you're not giving from an empty cup. So make sure that you set healthy boundaries with how much you give. And so know your values, know what you value, hold true to those values, and be true to yourself in the way of giving yourself the self-care needed. You may feel so empathetic, but if you overgive and deplete your own resources, then you will be left with a trash plan. So you don't want to end up with a sick plan. So, it's very important also to not overgive or overextend yourself because this can lead to burnout if you're a doormat, if you're not standing up for yourself, giving, 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 and not keeping certain things for yourself that you need, then you're going to find that you're going to run into muck and trouble during this particular transit. So that's not because it's a more difficult aspect. It really puts a emphasis on where the pitfalls of this are. So I would not go into this transit with the attitude that, oh, I'm just gonna give all of it away. It's so important to not do that. So you're feeling confident in your giving to others. Also, you're feeling very confident in your endeavors when it comes to giving. So it's important to also be mindful of how you love and care for other people as well. You may be advancing your career as well. That can be another aspect of this. Um, so it's important to give to others in ways that also honors your needs and values. So another part of this may be embracing optimism and philosophical contemplation, contemplating on the deeper philosophical truths of life, or becoming more optimistic, becoming more philosophical in how you act and how you do things in the world with a more philosophical, spiritual mindset. So negative sort of parts of this include arrogance and self-righteousness, becoming very, I versus you, me versus you, I, me. All of it is me. It must be done my way. I have the high ground. It's my way or the highway. There is this self-righteousness and there is this, I'm going to totally butcher this word, selfishness to this particular transit. So it's very, very important that you're not becoming overzealous, over self-focused at this time as well. And so, how do your beliefs and values impact your interactions with others? It's something very important to think about at this time as well. Now, another aspect we have going on is we have the moon squaring Mercury. So this can represent feeling overwhelmed, um, irrational thought processes, are feeling, we're feeling overwhelmed by our thoughts and our mind, the stimulus of our mind. We may find ourselves passionately arguing about topics that normally don't stir up emotions within us, but now they're really ramrod. And they're stirring up all these feelings, and we feel very passionate to argue. But this square asks you to take a step back and respond to these feelings and argue in a diplomatic and balanced way. You may also feel very defensive when others challenge you. So, it's very important to recognize that, recognize the defensiveness, um, when other people, challenge you in these kind of ways, and for you to not be defensive, but understanding their perspective, communicating your piece, to it, speak your piece, and work out a more diplomatic compromise. Inner tension inside of you may need release. So recognizing this, knowing this is really, really important that we may find a lot of inner emotions that are very, very strong, very potent emotions, which need to be released out of your system at this time. Writing can be a great resource during this time. It's not so good for speaking, but it's great for writing and expressing your emotions in that mode of communication. Writing can also help you release your emotions. You may want to consider exercising as a form of meditation. This is great for finding very, very constructive ways to honor and express your feelings, potentially into artistic and physical action. So, um, whatever constructive way that you can express your feelings, be it physical, artistic, emotional, leaves, trees, grass, anything, any way of constructively going about your feelings is great at this time. So you may be over reliant on your logical side, which could lead you to miss cues from your intuition. So you're stuck in your head, you're stuck in the, sort of drama of thoughts of what you're experiencing, but you're not dropping into your intuition to check in. Does this feel right? Is this the right decision? Only your intuition, not your ego mind, but your intuition knows that. So trust your intuition. Liability at this time. It's important not to believe all of your emotions, be discerning about the emotions that will serve you and the emotions that will not serve you. Your lens may be hypersensitive. Yeah, you may have a very, sensitive outlook on the world. And if you have plans with either family or friends, be open to change, be flexible to any change, if these plans do not go as you plan them out to be. Speaking of plans not going the way you think that they will, ongadoodle doodle, ongadoodle doo. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the moon trine Uranus aspect on November 24th. So, on this day, you may feel the need to break free from the mundane. There may be surges of excitement that you may be experiencing. You want to break free from what is, mundane, mutile. Um, you really want to break away from this, seeking out what's exciting for you. You may go through unconventional and rather liberating experiences. You may also be drawn to people who embody both originality and uniqueness, really valuing these qualities um, within people who are, unique and think of new out of the box ways of doing things. This is good for engaging in activities that challenge your usual patterns of, the way that you do things, the way that you go about things in your life. So it's very, very important that you make sure that your emotionally based decisions do not disrupt the stability in your life. Um, so, whatever your decisions are, if they're based on, I want to change this, I want to get to this X point, I want to reach this ring of infinity, making sure that these things do not disrupt stability in your own individual experience. It's also valid to balance spontaneity with thoughtfulness, balancing, doing things out of whims, out of pocket tiles, out of not tiles, with thoughtfulness. With, I'm thinking about this, I'm planning out this step by step. I'm really logically going about this, not so much emotionally. Um, it's important also to not alienate those around you as well. Be as connected to those around you as you can. It's important to be willing to change if necessary, to flow with the changes in your life. Your intuition may be providing you powerful guidance to you and giving you profound flashes of insight. So that may be huge with this. So be open and receive the guidance from your intuition, whatever it is. This is a time to do things that where you can be free and independent. And relationships will go in unexpected directions. You may think that relationships would go in one way, but they go in the complete opposite direction. You might think that you're staying a bed stay over here, but you're actually staying a couch stay. You might be putting something on your car and being prepared for every contingency, then blowing it off and then spontaneously going, oh, I don't need this. So that's where these relationship anomaly issues may come into play here. It's important also to get out of your comfort zone, try new things. If you're more shy, put yourself out there and, meet new people and do all those kind of things. Be willing to try new ways of doing things in your life and be willing to disrupt the patterns. Uranus ask you to disrupt this stagnant pattern that needs changing so badly, you need to do something about this that's different than what you've done before. So this is a time to try new ways of doing things. So the card that I chose for this day, and I can't find it now. There it is. The card is uh, exhaustion. And this is message from the helper guides. So you've been working too hard. This is about not falling into workaholism, not, when you do a hard day's work of your 9 to 5 job, come home and make that time a time where you spend time with your family, a time that you relax, you do what brings you joy, winding down, doing all those kind of things. So it's good to work hard. It's good to put your eggs in all that basket, but it's also good to allow the universe to work on your behalf to sort of wave its hand in the dust, shall we say. So, you've done the hard work already. You've done enough. You put all the eggs in that basket. Now it's time to hand that basket to the universe and allow it to do whatever it needs to do to it. Allow the universe to take care of all the work that you've done. You've done enough at this point. So you've been pushing too hard and doing too much. Now it's time to relax. So evaluate. Am I, doing, am I, in what area of your life are you overdoing it? Where you need to say, nope, I need to stop and I need to allow the universe to take care of this. I need to relax. I need to take a break. I need to chill out. Really, really being very indudimente with this kind of thing is super duper important. So your emotions may be consuming you and undermining your intentions um as well. So be mindful that you're not getting consumed by your emotions. Do you feel like you can only trust yourself to fulfill your endeavors? Do you feel like you're alone walk? You have to go it alone. You have to put in the hard work all alone. You have a partner in this life, which is Source. So this is a time to connect to Source. It allows Source to support you on your path. So this is about receiving support and guidance from the universe, receiving help from the universe, receiving a lifting hand from the universe. So, the saying is something like, I'm not getting it right, but do your best and surrender the rest kind of thing, where you do the hard work and you surrender it to the universe. That's what you need to do, is surrender all the hard work that you've done to the divine. All right, everybody, that is your astrology and oracle card reading forecast for November 23rd and 24th. Leave me a comment. I really want to see your feedback for this video. If this resonated or not, click the notification bell to get notified on my future videos. Click the subscribe button, like this video, do all the things. I really appreciate it, and I will appreciate it. Bye for now.